Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another interesting chess video. Today we are going to look at an amazing game between Joseph METHU with the white pieces and ELVIS LIKOKO with the black pieces. This is the second time these two gentlemen are meeting. The first time they met during the 2023 Kenya National Chess Championship, in which METHU won, and this is the second time they are meeting. It's like a rematch, and this game is just completely madness on the board, I tell you. So we are going to first watch the game and then we are going to analyze it. Let's dive into the game. First of all, when I saw this game, I couldn't believe it. Our national champ METHU was tired. Maybe there were some factors that made him to miss this particular meeting one, but this was just madness. So the game begins with H4. First of all, this is it's called a Kada's opening. Even I didn't know its name, but it's Kada's opening is just where white begins with the first move, H4. It doesn't have much theory, but it's just a name given to this particular move for white in this particular position. First of all, it has been played by super grandmasters like Magnus played it against Hikaru, in which in that particular game Hikaru also responded with H5, interestingly. But sometimes also it's just a bluff to show, like maybe to make chess more interesting. But it's quite weird that our champ decided to go for this particular opening. Maybe I'd studied it. Maybe he had some tactics up his sleeve. I don't know the reason why he went for this particular opening. And also it's a weird opening. Such openings are usually played in blitz or bullet, but in classical game, it's quite weird and quite interesting. So black responds with E5, and then white continues with E4, and then knight F6, D3, and then D5, and then white picks, and then black responds by picking with the knight. And then in this position, white also plays another interesting move. This game was just madness. As you can see, white plays knight to c3, offering like to double his pawns on the 5th move, even before developing other pieces. And black does exactly that. He picks, and now white has double pawns already under this weird pawn on h4. So the game continues. Black plays bishop to d6, and then here METHU also plays another interesting move, knight to h3. That's the kind of moves when someone makes, you just first have to adjust your seat, stand up, scratch your head, and ponder for the next move, because these are weird moves, to be nothing to say the least. But it had plans nevertheless. So after castles, the knight is taken to g5, whereby the best response was to kick it out immediately, because allowing that knight to be on your king side is not such a good thing. So white responds with knight to e4, and black drops his bishop back, which was the best move. And then here white continues with h5, kind of preparing some kind of pawn storm and opening the h file in a way. But black continues with kicking the knight, and the knight falls back. As you can see in this particular position, white hasn't even finished his development, but this particular knight has moved almost 4 times, and it's not quite a good thing to be making so much knight moves when you haven't developed your other pieces. But each move was necessary, because it was being kicked right, left, and center, so it had to move nevertheless. So black continues with bishop to e6, white responds with bishop to b2, and black plays c5, kind of creating more space. And here white plays knight to c6, bishop to e2 was played, and then queen to d6. It is interesting that in this position, bishop to f6 was considered as a better move rather than queen to d6, since it will have put this bishop into a more active square than being on e7. So the game continues. Bishop to f3 was played by white, and now black does the thing. He plays bishop to f6, and then queen to c1 was played. This particular move is considered an inaccuracy, a positional inaccuracy. The best move in this position was for white to first capture the knight on c6 to prevent this pawn push and hanging the bishop on b2. But during the game, white decided to keep the bishop to defend the bishop using the queen. So rook a to d8 was played, but a better move would have been to bring the rook to e8, kind of extraying the white king, since white hasn't castled yet. Knight to f1 was played, and this was quite a big inaccuracy. As you can see, the evil bar, it gives black an advantage of 2.3. The reason for this is because this particular move, it kind of exposes the king, the white king, because things like this will be coming, and then also this pawn can easily be pushed, and once the trade is taken, this king will be bare. And also there is this possibility of having a double attack, attacking the bishop and also the pawn attacking this other bishop. So knight to d4 was played, white picked the pawn, and then black played rook to b8, and then an exchange was made, and then rook to b1 was played, defending the bishop, and then queen to c7 was played. And in this position, black played bishop to f3, which was an inaccuracy. And here white had a beautiful winning move in which he missed during the game. And the move was bishop to f3. It's kind of he delayed it, he played it in the next move, but in this particular position, it's where it was best to be played, because this particular move, bishop to f3, kind of put black in a tricky situation in which he had to decide. It was the winning move for the game, I must say. So here white was either has to make a decision, either to go and exchange down, or to block, or to exchange the rooks, but all of them, they're just losing for white. So we are going to look at the various ways in which white will have responded and how they will still be disastrous for white. So the best move was actually to take the trade and to be it's like to be an exchange down, exchanging the bishop for the rook, and still black will still have a very big advantage of winning the game. The next response will have been to block, but also nevertheless it will have still been worse for white, because there is this particular move, queen to f5, and then offering to trade, because either way if you trade I can still bring the rook down here and threatening a mate in one here because you can't move your queen. So also blocking will still have been disastrous for white. Another response in this particular position after bishop to g5 will have been to slide the queen to c3, which will still have been quite more or less the same because of this particular move, queen to f5 with a check. Either you block the knight or the queen, but this your rook is still hanging, and since it's a check you can't trade the rooks first. So in this particular position e4 was played, and takes, bishop takes, and then here the killer move, queen to f4, and then the best defense was knight to d2, which was the best move. And here is where after this particular move, bishop to g5, here METHU hanged mate in one. A beautiful checkmate was delivered by black. Very interesting game. What else can I say? In this particular position, after knight to d2 and then bishop to g5, the best move to defend was queen to d4, and after pawn takes, the king will have just slide away. And then also if something like black will attack the queen by bringing the rook on b8 instead, the queen will have just gone to f5, and it will have been much better for white, even though the game was still losing for white because he was just defending from this point onwards. Once this bishop had moved away and this and the rook and the queen were connected, things started just falling apart for white. And yeah, that's how the game was. It's quite interesting that sometimes these things happen. It is just maybe he was distracted, maybe his mind wasn't there, maybe I believe there is a reason, because this is our national champ. I'm very proud of him. Does wonders. A very good player, one of the best. In fact, he's the best in the country right now, playing good moves, but for some reason he missed this particular mate in one during this game. So thank you for watching the video. So see you in another analysis game, and bye bye for now.